Okay, so an equation that involves several variables is called a formula or a literal equation. To solve a literal equation, you just apply the process of solving for a specific variable. So what we're going to talk about here is how to use formulas in this video here. So this example uses a yo-yo. Use the information about the largest yo-yo at the left. The formula for the circumference of a circle is C equals 2 pi r, where C represents the circumference and R represents the radius. So forgot to put the picture in there, but basically what it says is that the largest yo-yo in the world has a circumference of 32.7 feet. Okay. So what we're going to do is try to figure out what the radius of that circle is. Okay, now the circumference formula, C equals 2 pi r. Normally, we give you the radius. We did this back in chapter 0. We give you the radius, and you plug it in and multiply by 2 pi, and you get the circumference. Well, here, we know the circumference, but what we want to do is figure out the radius. So we could take the literal equation, the formula, C equals 2 pi r, and solve it for r. Since it's 2 times pi times r, I can divide both sides by 2 pi. So divide both sides by 2 pi. And you have C over 2 pi equals r. Now to find the radius of the yo-yo, you simply plug in 32.7 for C and divide that by 2 pi, and you'll get about 5.2. Now let me show you something here. One of the ways people get this problem wrong is they do 32.7 divided by 2 times, now pi is if you hit the second button in the caret. And I'd prefer you to use calculator pi and not 3.14. See how I got 51.36? Here's why. The calculator follows order of operations exactly as you put it in, even if you didn't mean that. So what you really meant was 32.7 divided by the quantity 2 pi, but how the calculator read it is if you just look at it, order of operations say you divide and multiply from left to right. So what it did was 32.7 divided by 2, got that answer, and then multiplied it by pi. The better way to do it is 32.7 divided by parentheses 2 pi. Now the parentheses tell the calculator to divide the 32.7 by the 2 and the pi. So you get 5.2 that way. Okay, so just be careful that you don't put it in wrong and assume that the calculator knows what you mean. The parentheses are your best friend in a lot of situations here. Okay? All right, so the yo-yo has a radius of about 5.2 feet. Now, of course, we saw the decimal goes out a whole lot longer than that, but all right. Okay, so when using formulas, you may want to use dimensional analysis as that is the process of carrying units through a computation. So a 10-kilometer run is 10 kilometers long, a 10K run. 1 meter equals 1.094 yards. Use dimensional analysis to find the length of the race in miles. Okay, so here's how we're doing it. Since the given conversion relates meters to yards, first you want to convert 10 kilometers to meters, then multiply by the conversion factor such that the unit meters are divided out. And to convert yards to miles, multiply 1 mile is 1760 yards. So here's how we do it. We know the length of the run is 10K, right? Now we know in order to get meters into yards, we need kilometers to be converted to meters. So a kilometer means 1,000 meters. It's a kilometer. Okay, so that means there's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. Now here's the thing. Lots of times students get confused. Which way do I set it up? Do I put 1,000 over 1 or 1 over 1,000 with the kilometers and meters? Well, the units tell you what to do. I'm trying to get rid of the units of kilometers and change it into meters. Now that's not my end, because ultimately I want to get it into miles. Okay, so I set it up as 1,000 meters over kilometers, because if I divide by kilometers, it's going to cancel the units here. Then I can use the conversion factor that 1 meter equals 1.094 yards to convert the meters into yards. All right. Now, again, do I put 1.094 over 1 or 1 over 1.094? Well, what do I want to get rid of? I want to get rid of meters. And since meters is in the numerator of the previous fraction rather, I want to have meters in the denominator. So it's 1.094 yards divided by 1 meter. And then the meters will cancel. Finally, I want to use the conversion factor that 1 mile equals 1760 yards. And again, I want yards to be in the denominator because I want to convert from yards to miles so that the yards cancel out. And then really, this is just multiplying by fractions. Okay, and if you put the 10 over 1, maybe you can see that. When you multiply by fractions, you multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. Let me get rid of that arrow so you can see. Notice how the units cancel out, leaving the unit which you are converting. So kilometers canceled here, then I converted meters to yards, so the meters canceled, then I converted yards to miles, so the yards canceled. Now when I multiply that straight across, I get 10,940 miles over 1760. Just divide that and you get about 6.2 miles, okay? All right, so a 10K race is approximately 6.2 miles. So a car travels a distance of 100 feet in about 2.8 seconds. What is the velocity or the speed of the car in miles per hour? Round your answer to the nearest whole number. Okay, now here's the thing. Sometimes you might not remember what the conversion rates are, or how many seconds are in a minute, or how many minutes are in an hour, or how many feet are in a mile. Type it into Google. Google's your best friend, okay? And then you can proceed with the problem. All right, go ahead and pause the video and hit play when you're ready to check your answer. Okay, we're back. So you have 100 feet in about 2.8 seconds. So it's 100 feet over 2.8 seconds. Now I have to convert feet into miles because I want to get it to miles per hour, and seconds to hours. Now, how did I know to put feet over seconds versus seconds over feet? Here's how I knew. The final answer, I want miles per hour, so miles over hours. So the distance over the time. Miles is the distance, hours is the time. So my original fraction I have to set up as distance over time and then do the conversions. So I suggest you pick one unit to convert and then convert the other one. What do I mean by that? Well, pick feet and convert feet to miles first and then do seconds into hours, or do seconds into hours first and then feet into miles. Okay, so here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to first convert the feet into miles, all right, because we know that 5,280 feet equals 1 mile. Okay, so I need to have my feet in the denominator and the miles in the numerator because I want the feet to cancel. So 1 mile over 5,280 feet. Okay, now the next thing, that takes care of the feet. I'm already in miles. Now I have to convert seconds into hours. Well, unless you know what it is, you have to first convert seconds into minutes and then minutes into hours. If you could figure out how many seconds are in an hour, then you can just do it in one step. But I'm going to do it in two just to show you how to do it. Okay, so I want to get rid of seconds. So it has to go in the opposite spot. So it has to go in the numerator. And how many seconds are in a minute? Right, there's 60 seconds in 1 minute. Now the seconds will cancel. Now I can go from minutes to hours. So minutes up here, hours down here, they will cancel. And again, there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. Okay, so at this step, we just multiply straight across the top and the bottom, and put our units as they should go. So let me see, I'll put it right here so we can hopefully see it. So across the top, I got 100 times 60 times 60. That gives me 360,000 miles. 2.8 times 5280 times 1 times 1. Obviously, ones are not going to change it, but just put it in there to be consistent. So 14,784. Now, if I divide those, 360,000 divided by 14,784, you get 24 point, let's round it, 24.4 miles per hour. So if I go 100 feet in 2.8 seconds, I'm actually going at 24.4 miles per hour. Okie dokie. All right, guys, that's it for this section. Please reach out to me if you need any help. Make it a great day. And as always, you guys take care.